What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dad Needs to Talk. I'm your host, Robert, and today we're going to be catching up and mainly talking about some life-related things, specifically kind of centered around the topic of basically getting involved with your kids' school and activities, and then and with that kind of the power of having access and the people you know. So, like I said, my name is Rob. This is Dad Needs to Talk, where I discuss everything from fatherhood and family and all the nerdy things I enjoy, like manga, anime, TV shows, movies, and some video games. But, like I said, today, kind of touching on more life related stuff. Um, and I'm gonna get more into the whole situation or whatever. But we had to deal with this week a bomb threat at my kid's school. So before I get into all that, just to kind of give a little bit more context for things, just in case if a lot of times whenever I do a lot of these more life and parent focused episodes, I get new listeners and stuff. So just for a little bit of more background and context, so I'm married, uh, and we have five kids, three boys, ages 16, 12, and 7, and then twin girls, ages 15. And so my three oldest kids are all in ninth grade this year. And so, yeah. So, like I mentioned, there was a little incident that happened on Wednesday, and it was definitely a very stressful situation, more so for my wife, because she works for the school district, and thankfully, she happened to be working that day at my kid's school, the my older kid's school, when all of this happened. And like I said, it's been, very, it's been a couple of days now. It's currently almost 5:30 in the morning. I've been up since freaking 3 something. Just, couldn't sleep all throughout the night and had a lot of this stuff on my mind. So I was like, you know what? I need to talk, which is what my show and my podcast is for. And even though, I might not have the widest of reaches or the biggest platform in the world, I do still like to do what I can to share my experiences so that other people, obviously parents and stuff, but just people in general might be able to maybe take something that I say or experiences that I share and be useful to them in their lives and with their families. So, to kind of go back a little bit, and like I said, I'm gonna get to the whole bomb threat situation in a little bit, but this situation was definitely a prime example of how important it is when possible. And obviously, we all have different life and family and child and parent situations and everything in between, work and stuff, whatever. So, but of course, I can just speak for the kind of combination of how my life and my family is kind of set up. But this situation was definitely a highlight of why me and my wife, fortunately, have been able to kind of build and structure our lives and some of our career choices around the kids and being as available as possible for them. So, for the most part, I've always been, in working in tech in some sense. I've worked at big tech companies and now I'm in the medical field. And my current job, thankfully, is super awesome. I have lots of flexibility with how I'm able to maneuver and to kind of come and go if I have family emergencies and things like that. And then as for my wife, years ago when the kids were smaller, and we then they didn't have as many activities and different things to worry about. She used to work overnights, and that way, she could, obviously still work, make some money, but then during the day be available to kind of be around to, either, if we had back when we had like small, like babies, be home with whoever is not in school back in the day, and then just being available to help out with stuff. And then over the years, that has changed, and so now for the last 3 or so years, she has been working within the school district that our kids go to, and so with that, comes a lot of access to information, access to different people from different staff and principals and coaches and district administration and things of that nature. Because, like, prime example, the person, shout out to Miss Rhodes, she recently became the district superintendent. Well, we have known her for almost a decade because many years ago, probably about, man, 7 or so years ago, my middle son went to the elementary school he went to. She was the principal of, and so we kind of met her a little bit here and there during those years, and then fast forward several years later, when the older three got to middle school, she popped up again, and she was now the principal of the middle school my oldest kids were going to, and her youngest daughter was also in the same grade as them. And then, within the last year, she got promoted up to the district superintendent and stuff. But anywho, like I said, that's just like an example of stuff. But kind of, let me touch on what happened with the incident, and that'll kind of help me kind of better structure what I need to say. So Wednesday morning, my wife, like I said, happened to be scheduled to work that day at the school. And so basically somebody called in or sent the email, some type of bomb threat notification went out. And so they had to evacuate the whole campus and stuff. And so, they evacuated them out into like the football track area or whatever at first. And then they, quickly, and I will say shout out to them, the school district, for how quickly and efficiently they responded to things. Because then they had buses come through, pick up I think what they said, it was like 1,200 students and staff, and bus them down maybe like a mile or so down the road to the big football stadium we have in the area. And then that's kind of where things were set up from there for parents and family to um, be reunited with their kids and stuff. And obviously, while all this is going on, I'm at work like 40 minutes away. But like I said, I had a little bit of peace of mind just knowing that my wife was there with the kids. And like I said, we've had many years of not just her working at the school for these last few years or working for the school district with these last few years, but uh, we have always tried to do our best, especially her, with being super involved and knowing these various people at the school, and not just, oh, who is the principal and who is your kid's teacher, but also, getting familiar with the nursing staff and stuff, whatever, especially, dealing with some kids, some of our kids have like bad allergies or uh, asthma and different things like that. It's just good to just familiarize yourself with these different people. And like I said, not just at a school level, but just like I said, even involved with different activities and stuff that your kids are doing. And like I said, I know not everybody is in a position to do that, but if you can do it at least occasionally, please do. At least, you know, let them see your face from time to time, not just, oh, they get a message or email from you. Try to get some face to face so they can kind of put, okay, they might not 100% remember your name, but at least, hey, maybe they'll at least remember, like, oh, this is Vash's dad, or oh, this is the twins' mom, or whatever the case may be, or whatever. Make your presence known at least a little bit, like I said, whether it be, making it to a parent teacher conference every now and then, or some type of like a after school event or something else, just getting involved. I will say, shout out to there's a mom I know from the Gamer Parents podcast where she recently got involved doing some volunteer work at her kids' school and stuff because their kids are way younger than mine. And so they're kind of, I think, like their oldest, he just started elementary or whatever. And so it's been awesome hearing her talk about getting involved with, different PTA meetings and little school events and different things like that. And so, like I said, it's just making yourself just involved within the things that your kids are part of. Not just for the sake of knowledge and information, but it's also kind of just shows your kids a little bit like, hey, okay, mom or dad or grandma or whoever, whatever your family situation is, big brother, big sister, you know, is around or is possibly available or will try to make some time if possible to show up to these different things. But yeah, so going back to the evacuation situation, um so I get there like soon as my wife kind of finds out like okay, they're about to start letting the parents and stuff come pick up the kids. I went in and left work and made my way back to this side of town and stuff. So because of course things got a little bit also trickier. I had to calculate as well that since they evacuated the school, even though she was with the kids, for one, since she's staff, she wouldn't be able to leave to take them home or whatever, which is fine. She's there and being helpful and stuff, and at least she has an eye on the kids. But also, her car is stuck at the school that is now on lockdown and surrounded by SWAT teams and all this stuff, whatever. And like the whole block that the school was on was, blocked off by police cars and nobody could get anywhere near the campus. Understandably so. But so I get there and obviously, like I said, they're at the football stadium, so there's hundreds of cars, hundreds of people, super long lines snaking all throughout the parking lot, around the building, across, down the sidewalk, and all this stuff, whatever. News cameras and stuff all over the place. People getting interviewed and different things like that. Um, and so, just a like I said, overall, little worrying situation. But like I said, not so much in the end because, like I said, hey, everybody's off site safely, whatever. My wife is in the building with the kids. I'm just here, waiting in this super long line, filling out paperwork because, and understandably so, but it was like, they were handing out these pieces of paper with basically instructions and stuff where, you fill out, your name, your student's name, relation, etc., whatever, so that when you get to the front of the line, they can then verify your ID, make sure that you're on the list to pick up the kid and all this stuff, and then they go and get the kid and yada yada yada. Well, obviously I'm there to pick up three kids, so I had to fill out the paperwork three times. And like I said, just a funny note of that, it gave me flashbacks to when my oldest three were younger. And because I was talking to somebody at work about this the other day, of it's like I didn't we weren't really able to hang on to all the little assignments and stuff like we are now with our youngest, because it was three of them together. And so literally I remember having to do the same assignments three times in a row. Like, all right, Jaden, come in, help him with the homework and stuff, whatever. He leave. All right, Janae, come in. Like I said, the same assignment and stuff, whatever. All right, you're done. All right, Janae. So dealing with three kids, two of which were twins, and one of the twins is left-handed. So it was me doing the work three times. Obviously, everybody has different ways of how they learn and process information. So making sure I'm kind of tailoring, the lesson and how I'm teaching to be there for each kid. And then on top of having one of the twins being left handed, you know. So, but like I said, it just kind of gave me flashbacks to that with having to fill out the same paperwork three times in order to pick them up. But, you know, in this super long line for a long time, seeing recognizable faces, and kind of, one of the teachers that I know, she was coming out and leaving, and she saw me and recognized me, because even though, like I said, everybody might not know my name, they know who I am the husband of, and they know who I am the father of. So she know me because, like I said, she see me around from time to time, whatever. And she has come to support and watch our kids at the basketball games and track events and stuff like that or whatever. And so she saw me in line and she was like, oh, they're not just letting you go in and blah, 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 blah. And, at that moment, I wasn't able to, which I'm like, hey, I am fine as long as, hey, I know my kids are in there safe, whatever. But a little bit later on, my wife spoke to somebody and my wife was able to come out and get me to the front of the line to get the kids and then, get gone and stuff, whatever, simply just because of the fact that she was already there. And so that kind of, it's like, okay, why am I just, waiting in line when it's like, the other parent is a staff member already in the building. And, like I said, in some sense, yeah, it might not be fair for, just because there are people who are there waiting way longer than me, potentially whatever, and I just cut the line. But like I said, that is kind of said like the other side of things of kind of who being involved with stuff, being involved with the community, with the school district, things like that. Um, because there were other spouses in the line that after I had went that kind of ended up getting the same situation or whatever. Um, but yeah, like I said, thankfully everybody is fine. It ended up being seemingly a false threat or whatever. But obviously, some of the kids at the school are understandably, a bit stressed, shaken up. Some of them didn't go to school yesterday. The day after the incident happened or whatever. But like I said, that's kind of why, like I said, I wanted to just come and just talk it out. I don't know if anything I'm saying will make sense to anybody, but uh, it's just really just been on my mind these last couple of days, and like I said, just kind of just wanted to share my experience of how that situation and stuff went, and then like I said, just some ways that uh, relationships and knowledge and things that we have built up over the years ended up making things go a little bit smoother, and a little bit faster in some instances or whatever. So, because I do know there were some of the kids, unfortunately, that due to life and family situations or whatever, were still at um, the administration building where everybody was evacuated to, whatever, for a super long time that afternoon or whatever, because it's like, well, their parent or their guardian or whoever don't work a job that is either close by or flexible or whatever the case may be for them to have, left, in the middle of the workday, whatever, to come and get them, or maybe they might not have had, the usual transportation because maybe the kid, normally just walks to school. So, it's so many different combinations of different things that, might not come to mind when you're going through your normal day to day routine of, just life and school and work and things like that or whatever until a unexpected situation like this happens, and then you kind of start to see, okay, maybe there are some things maybe I need to put in place for a contingency plan or for a backup, um and things like that, because there are some, you know like example, one of the kids we know very well, we have known him for many 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 years or whatever. We typically are the ones that a lot of times we're after school sometimes or after, a school event or whatever. If we see him, we'll give him a ride home or whatever the case may be or whatever. But, with this particular situation, whatever, if you're not on the list as, a guardian or somebody authorized to pick them up or whatever, that kid was unfortunately just stuck there for a while. And so, and obviously the things I'm saying will definitely vary greatly depending on the school district and where you live and how the rules and different things like that. But that is definitely something that, for, either parents that have never really had to deal with any emergency situations or whatever, or just newer people, like I said, even if you're not a direct parent, maybe you're a adult with, younger siblings that are still in school or a niece and nephew that you take care of, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you kind of have as many options as possible for these situations and stuff. So because like prime example, me and my wife obviously both have been on our kids, authorized pickup list for a long time, or whatever. But when my wife's grandmother moved in about 6 months ago, whatever, it took a few months for it to really even register for us to make sure that she I think she was on the list for certain things, but not for others. So, that is one thing too of even if you might have had certain people on things, whatever, it is a good idea to kind of like re-verify. Sometimes even maybe even every school year, because things happen. Glitches happen in computer systems, whatever stuff gets accidentally updated or changed or whatever the case may be, and you forget about it, and then when you're in a situation and you're like, wait, so and so was on there. I was like, well, they're not on there now, or whatever the case may be. So, but anywho, like I said, so we had to, go back and update or add her to other things, whatever, because things have changed. Some of the kids are getting older. Like Vash, he had to transfer to a different school because of a special needs thing this year, and so that kind of put him on a different bus thing. So that was like a whole other new set of authorization stuff we had to get set up a while back and stuff. So, but yeah. So like I said, just kind of double check these various things when it comes to your kids and stuff. Like I said, even like I said, just kind of going back to not just school related stuff, but even like different activities, sports stuff, events, whatever. And like I said, when possible, putting faces to names, because like I said, there have been, like I said, there are certain things that most of the people know my wife. When it comes to the kids, she is the primary person that everybody will know. But like I said, even if they don't know or remember my name, they know, oh, okay, this is their dad or this is her husband and stuff. Because it's been funny over the years, especially since I've been doing this podcast and stuff. Dad needs to talk. There have even been just some of the coaches. Just ironically, I just laughed because like a a few times over like the last couple of years. You know, they didn't remember my name, but you know, they would call me out by like, "Hey, Dad, come here," you know, and I would just know that they're talking to me and stuff. So, but anywho, but yeah, you know, like I said, like they know, uh, and like I said, if you do make those different changes and stuff, whatever, like I said, once again, if possible, you know, like I said, at least do like that general introduction of like, hey, coach, you know, or hey, miss, so whatever, teacher, whatever. Hey, this is, you know, this is little Billy's grandmother or whatever, you know, and just like I said, just little things, like I said, just doing everything you can to try to put yourself and your kids in the safest and smoothest possible situations for the event. You know, we all hope to never really be involved in any situations like this, whatever. You know, because I definitely never would have expected it or whatever, but that's how these things go, whatever. But it's like, you know, for the most part, you know, my kids, we have always been in this school district as long as they have been in school. And for the most part, I don't think there's really ever been, at least to my recollection, anything like this happening and stuff. So, and just kind of, you know, expand on it a little bit or whatever. So, like I said, I went, you know, got the kids, you know, got them out of there, whatever. Went and took them home and stuff. You know, went and stopped, got something to eat, because obviously most of them, you know, were super hungry because, you know, some of the kids, you know, they were either at lunch, depending, because this happened around 10 a.m. or whatever, between 10 getting close to like 10:30, and some of the kids were either just starting lunch or some of them hadn't gone to lunch yet or whatever. And so, you know, by the time I got my kids or whatever, it was almost like 2 p.m. or whatever. uh, and so yeah, so you know, took the kids home, got something to eat, took them home and stuff, whatever. And so I've mentioned this before, but so my kids, the way our school district is definitely very weird to me. But it's like, so they're technically on the middle school campus, even though they are ninth graders, because the middle schools in our district are seventh, eighth, and ninth. But ninth graders, freshmen, that do athletics have to go over to the high school at the end of the day or whatever. And so, you know, they still, you know, needed to slash wanted to go and do their athletics and stuff, whatever. Especially my daughters, because they both had, you know, track meets and field events and stuff, whatever. Um, Thursday morning and stuff, whatever. So you know, they still wanted to do what they wanted to do. And so we were kind of getting prepped for that or whatever, because that was going to be like an hour or so after we got home. And then I get a message from my wife being like, nope, don't go to the high school, whatever. There was a shooting threat or whatever called in there. And it was like, oh my God, like really, like back to back. But thankfully, that situation got immediately debunked, because now that one was a like ultra stupid one, where some kid had wrote on the wall in the bathroom that he was gonna do something crazy, whatever, and he ended up telling a friend or another student or whatever, and that student reported it, and kind of find out it was all because that kid didn't freaking want to go to fourth period, which is like, it's like, kids, please don't do any dumb stuff like that. Parents, please talk to your kids. And it's like, the severity of stuff like that is like, these are not things to play and to joke about. So like I said, so thankfully that, you know, got handled very swiftly, and you know, they were still able to go to the high school. Everything went fine, you know, things of that nature, whatever. So, but anyway, I've been talking, been rambling for a long time, but like I said, I hope that through all my ramblings and stuff, whatever, that you are able to, you know, glean some type of knowledge and stuff, or maybe something helpful out of this. Because, like I said, the main point of this, like I said, was not only just sharing that experience we had to deal with this week, but with how we personally were kind of able to navigated just due to the years of work of building relationships, and obviously my wife working within the school district and all these other variables in between and stuff. So but like I said, the point is, do what you can to be as involved as you were able to. Like I said, I know life and work in different situations do not always permit that, but like I said, every little thing you can do, like I said, from just making sure uh, emergency contacts and authorized people who can pick up your kid and stuff is up to date and properly communicated and like I said, like re-verified regularly, whatever. Like I said, trying to do as much as you can to get faces and names put into established with the teachers and different staff and whatever. Just like I said, because like I said, there are some situations, of course, where you might you know get a little bit of extra wiggle room and stuff, whatever, where it might be like, oh, I forgot this part, I forgot to do this and that or whatever, but it's like, well, hey, well, okay, we know you or whatever, so hey, just you can go ahead and come on and yada 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 and stuff. So, but like I said, those are just kind of like those like dire emergency, like, okay, we can kind of work with you on this because we know who you are or whatever, or hey, yes, we have seen you for a long time type of thing. So, but anyway, with that being said, it is almost 6 a.m. So we'll see how my day is going to go. Because, like I said, I have been up since about 3 ish. But it is time for me to start getting the kids and stuff woken up and ready for school, and me ready to shuffle off to work and all that different stuff. So, but like I said, I hope that this episode and this discussion has been somewhat helpful to somebody out there. Um, and yeah, so like I said, this has been Rob, and this has been Dad Needs to Talk, where I do discussions, interviews, reviews surrounding topics of fatherhood and family, manga, anime, TV shows, movies, and some video games. And stay tuned for hopefully within the next week be back to doing some different reviews and discussions of some shows and manga and other things like that. I am also planning on sometime soon doing another kind of like what was it? I did an episode many years ago called I think it was like raising student athletes or something like that or whatever. It's time for me to do an updated version of that because obviously it's been a few years. My kids have gotten older, and we've experienced a lot of different things that I would like to talk about and stuff. So, but we'll see. We'll cross that bridge when the time comes. But thank you so much for watching and listening. And as I always say, treat yourself to something nice, read some manga, watch some anime, TV shows, and movies, play some video games, and of course, live your best life. And with that, I am out. Y'all have an awesome day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.